The worth of a farmer. In a quiet village nestled between rolling green hills, there lived a poor farmer named Ramu. He owned a small piece of land where he grew vegetables and grains. Though he worked tirelessly from sunrise to sunset, his earnings were just enough to feed his family. Ramu often looked at his neighbor Harish, who owned vast fields, several cows, and a large farmhouse. Unlike Ramu's small hut, Harish's home was grand, with marble floors and golden decorations. Every time Ramu saw Harish riding his fine horse or wearing new clothes, he felt disheartened. "Why is my life so difficult?" he wondered. "No matter how hard I work, I can never be like Harish." One day, an old sage visited the village. The villagers gathered around him, eager to hear his wisdom. Ramu, too, approached the sage and shared his sorrow. "I work hard every day, yet I remain poor. Meanwhile, Harish has everything. Why is life so unfair?" The sage listened patiently and then said, "Meet me at the top of the hill tomorrow morning. I will show you something important." Curious, Ramu agreed. The next morning, Ramu climbed the hill and found the sage waiting for him. The sage pointed towards the vast land below. "Look at the mango tree and the rose bush," he said. Ramu looked and nodded. The mango tree stood tall and strong, bearing sweet fruits, while the rose bush bloomed with bright red flowers. "Now tell me," the sage asked, "do you think the rose bush is unhappy because it does not grow mangoes?" Ramu was confused. "No, Guruji, the rose bush is beautiful in its own way. It does not need to grow mangoes." "Exactly," the sage smiled. "And does the mango tree envy the rose bush for its flowers?" "No, Guruji. The mango tree provides fruit, while the rose bush offers beauty. They are different but valuable." The sage placed a hand on Ramu's shoulder. "Then why do you compare yourself to Harish? You and he have different paths. You may not have gold or riches, but you have a loving family, strong hands that till the earth, and a heart full of kindness. Your worth is not measured by what you lack, but by what you have." Ramu stood in silence as the sage's words sank in. He thought of his wife, who greeted him with a smile every evening, and his children, who ran to him with open arms. He thought of the fresh vegetables he grew and the satisfaction of hard work. He realized he had been so busy comparing himself to Harish that he had forgotten to appreciate his own blessings. As he walked back home, he observed his small farm with new eyes. The golden wheat swayed in the breeze, the vegetables glistened under the sunlight, and birds chirped in the nearby trees. Everything was alive, thriving because of his care and dedication. He smiled, feeling a newfound sense of contentment. In the following days, Ramu worked on his farm with greater enthusiasm. He no longer envied Harish, but instead focused on improving his own land. He learned better farming techniques, planted new crops, and even started selling his produce at the village market. Soon, people began appreciating the fresh quality of his vegetables, and his earnings gradually improved. One day, Harish himself visited Ramu's farm and complimented his hard work. "Your crops are some of the best in the village," Harish admitted. "I wish I had your dedication and love for farming." Ramu was surprised. He had spent years envying Harish, never realizing that Harish, too, saw value in what he had. At that moment, he understood that true wealth wasn't in riches alone, but in one's passion, effort, and happiness. From that day on, Ramu stopped wishing for Harish's wealth. He worked on his land with a new sense of pride, knowing that his efforts brought happiness and sustenance to his family. His life might not have been grand, but it was meaningful, and that was enough. Moral: never compare yourself to others. Everyone has their own journey and purpose. True happiness comes from embracing your own strengths and blessings.